Hello, hello, hello. Happy day, happy day. Today we're going to be talking about probiotics, prebiotics. What is the difference? I have a friend who is a nutritionist. Her name is Nadia. She will be joining us. Gonna wait. Okay, here she is. Awesome. And we are going to get this started. Yes, we are going to talk about these are the questions, and I'm clicking accept, and it's going to work perfectly. Okay, awesome. Hi, Nadia.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Yes,
Thanks for
okay.
having me on. I'm so excited for today.
I'm so excited to have you and know somebody that's a nutritionist. So let's just jump into it. Can you introduce yourself, like who
Mm,
you are and all of that?
Sure.
Do it.
So my name is Nadia Quraishi. I'm a holistic nutritionist, and I help women reduce inflammation with a plant-based style and a plant-based diet and lifestyle changes.
I love it. It's so good. So we connected last month because we're in June. June's
Yeah.
almost over, so that's why I stopped. We connected last month at the Flex Summit hosted by Flex and Fly, and we talked, and I just love Nadia. Like it was just easy to talk to you. And then I got the idea after drinking like this probiotic drink, I believe, the poppy one. I got this idea like what is the difference? And I was kind of confused too because I've been seeing all of these different probiotic, prebiotic drinks in the store.
Mhm.
And maybe it's also because now that I'm like aware of it, I see it more.
Right.
But I kind of got a little like overwhelmed and I was like, if I'm confused, I know there's other people out there that are probably not sure. It's healthy, but like what are the benefits? Do we really need it? So I messaged Nadia. I was like, hey, can we do this live together so you can educate both of our audiences on what the difference is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So probiotics and prebiotics, I know that for years, like we've been hearing a lot about
Mm-hmm.
probiotics, right? Prebiotics is something kind of like that you're starting to kind of hear about more and more lately. But the two actually work together really well. So in terms of gut health, it's really important to consume both probiotics and prebiotics. So I'll go over the difference though. So probiotics are basically like the live bacteria and yeasts that are directly contributing to our gut health, right? So, that is, and I'll go over, the types, what the differences are in the types of food. And then so probiotics are the live bacteria and yeast, right? Prebiotics are actually the fiber that are serving as food for the existing bacteria. So if our gut, let's say that our gut doesn't have a lot of good bacteria, we're not going to have a lot of prebiotics. So it's basically serving as food for what is already existing in our gut. So it's really important to do a combination of both probiotics and prebiotics so that we have an overall healthy gut. Because if we don't have a healthy gut, our immune system is going to suffer. We're not going to absorb nutrients, so whatever we're eating, our body's not going to absorb it. And then everything from, even there's a lot of research lately about mental health
Yeah.
and and how important it is to have a good gut in terms of mental health as well. And obviously digestion. So a lot of people say that their digestion isn't great, and it's linked to gut health, obviously. So um, probiotics and prebiotics, they work really well together. So together, they'll alleviate things like bloating, gas, constipation, things like that, helping in terms of healing the gut lining, regulating bowel movements, reducing inflammation in the digestive tract,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously, of course, like supporting overall immune system. So, I don't know if that helps kind of explain the differences between the two.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
no, that was a very good definition. And the main reason, like I was sharing that, I was like, I need to do this live because I felt a little like confused because many of you know I'm a registered nurse by trade and I used to work in the hospital. And maybe that was like about 7 years ago. I used to work in the hospital. And I remember probiotic was a thing because you're giving the patient
Hmm.
antibiotics, so you give them the probiotic
Yeah.
pill, right? And so I knew that. So then I feel like maybe because I've been out of the hospital for a minute, I'm like, what is this prebiotic? So when I was in the store and I see, the branding is, marketing is marketing for this poppy drink. This is not sponsored, but I was like, okay, this tastes good, and okay. And then I have a question. Have you
Yeah.
tried that poppy drink?
I haven't. No,
Okay.
I haven't. I've heard of it. I haven't
Yeah.
tried it yet.
Yeah. So I looked at the ingredients, and the main ingredient is apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
So is that what they're advertising as the prebiotic? Is that
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's basically what they're doing. I actually have to look at the
yeah.
ingredients list because I'm not familiar with it. But yeah, apple cider vinegar is really great for gut health. I actually used to take apple cider vinegar like every day, like as a shot. The thing that I want to mention about apple cider vinegar though is you always want to have it diluted because it will like hurt your throat. And so never take it straight up. So just so everyone knows.
That is an incredible tip, Nadia. And because you see it a lot, we see a lot of these different health things
Yeah,
online. And, we're both in the wellness space. So we're seeing all
yeah,
these different things. And one thing I know, maybe it was like maybe in the thick of the pandemic, I feel like the ACV shots was like a
yeah,
thing. And that's good to know, though, because especially if you do drink alcohol, often, you're putting yourself also more at risk for like, my nurse brain instantly goes to like esophagitis and those kind of things.
right,
So if you're like, oh, I want to be healthy and drink this ACV, you're what she said, you're thinning your
right.
esophageal lining, and that is no bueno. And then there's also like
No.
it's just the indigestion feeling that you might get. So it's a very good tip. What do you suggest that people dilute the apple cider vinegar with?
Just water.
Okay.
Just like, if you're drinking, let's say like a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, however much, just, if it's just like a shot this big, for example, just put, I don't know, 3/4 of it or more of water and that's it. So like, just like a little shot, like one or two ounces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you guys are joining, we are just talking about probiotic, prebiotics. Nadia is a nutritionist. And so if you have any questions related to prebiotic, probiotic health, please drop it in the chat. I have a few well, she kind of went through a lot of things already. Okay, so one of the questions I had was like, do I need to take both? So like, do you say yes or no? Like, does it
So
depend?
I do, yeah. So you should definitely, for overall gut health, I definitely recommend that you do a combination of both. In terms of like actually consuming probiotics and prebiotics, I always, obviously supplements are great and everything, and sometimes you need them, but I prefer trying to get your nutrients through foods as much as possible. And also another thing, and I'll go over like what are some of the sources. The other thing I do want to mention before I forget is if you're eating a lot of like processed foods, sugar, things that are basically, gonna harm you, in terms of your gut health and immune system, that will take away from your gut health. So I definitely recommend, reducing a lot of the processed foods and sugars and things like that, because they're just not good for you. And for your gut health. So, in terms of prebiotics, so there are many foods that you can include in your diet, and they might even be things that you already eat on a regular basis, like garlic and onions
Mm.
are a form of probiotics. Like they do have that. Foods like asparagus, artichokes, and then there are different herbs as well. So chicory root. I don't know if you've ever had chicory root, but that's a really good source of prebiotics, actually. Like for a while, I was actually making this tea that had chicory root, dandelion root, and some other things. So that would be a really good source of prebiotics, and you can just have that as a tea. Um,
Now as you're talking, I'm like, okay.
and then in terms of probiotics, and I know, generally people are more familiar with probiotics. So obviously, fermented foods like kombucha, kimchi, what else? Yogurts, things like that, sauerkraut. So those are all really good sources of probiotics, as well as like tempeh, which is like a fermented soy product. So anything fermented is really good. Kombucha, miso. So these are all like really good sources of probiotics. So for example, like if you're going out to eat, right, and let's say you're going to like I don't know, a Japanese restaurant, you can have some miso soup with it. So you're getting like the probiotics with your meal. That would be a really, really good thing to do. If I'm plant-based, so like I generally have like, for example, coconut milk or cashew milk yogurt, but
Okay.
you can obviously have cow's milk
Yeah.
yogurt too if you're not plant-based, but that would be a really good source of probiotics as well. So those are just some things. So definitely do a combination of these foods on a regular basis so that you're always getting like both.
Okay. Can you, this is very helpful, and because you're giving us actual foods, and I like us, it makes sense because you're a nutritionist, that you're suggesting us to eat the actual foods
Yeah.
that have the prebiotic and probiotic benefit versus the supplements.
Hmm.
Because that's something that I'm very like, it annoys me a little bit seeing people take all these supplements because I'm like, first off, are you going to your doctor, like to your primary care doctor, and doing blood work to see what your levels
Hmm.
are for all of this before you're taking all of these things because you see somebody online telling you?
Yeah.
Like even me and Nadia, both of us are certified or registered in some kind of way in the health and wellness space. But you still need to consult your doctor. Like, go back to your doctor and be like, do I need to take, I heard about prebiotic, probiotic. What do you suggest? And I
Right.
mean, that's always important. My next question is, this might seem silly, but can you eat both, like the kimchi? Well, kimchi is a probiotic, right? It's ferment or no?
Kimchi is a probiotic. Yeah.
Okay, so could I eat like the probiotics such as kimchi and then a prebiotic, which you said like artichokes? Is that what you said?
Artichokes. Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can definitely combine it. I mean, just this morning, I think you saw it on my Instagram live, right? So I did a combination of probiotics and prebiotics, right? So I had on sourdough bread, and sourdough is a form of probiotics because it's fermented. Sourdough is fermented, right? So that's a probiotic. And then the avocado, and we didn't really get into fiber, but like, fiber is really important as well. And avocado is like a great source of fiber. And it's really great for gut health as well. And then what I did was I added some, I don't know if you know the everything seasoning from
Yes.
Trader Joe's.
Oh,
So
good.
I believe that has like garlic and onion in it. So that is also in garlic and onion, like I mentioned, is a prebiotic. And then I added some pickled, I actually did a combination of like pickled onions and jalapenos.
Oh,
So
I didn't
those are
see the
both
jalapeno.
fermented. So those are both fermented. So I really did like everything on that avocado toast was a form of pre or probiotics.
Okay, wonderful. And I always, it's when I see somebody eating it, I was like, oh, I need to get those, like the pickled onions. I love them. My husband, he can't really be That's something else. What's interesting? Okay, I'll use my husband as an example. He has really bad stomach problems,
Okay.
right? So it's like spicy things, like he can't really mess with. Just a lot of different
Yeah.
things. So he does take like a probiotic
Okay.
supplement because like he just doesn't do yogurt or whatever. But
Okay.
I say all that to say, oh, that's what I was saying with the pickled stuff. Like, so we don't. I would have to be like, hey, like, can you? Because he does the grocery shopping too. So I'm
Right.
like, hey, can you like get the like? I have to remind him, or else like we wouldn't have that. But I went off a little tangent, but um what else was I gonna say with that? We already talked about what does a probiotic and prebiotic do like for our bodies, and you did touch base on mental health. Mental
Hmm.
health is, important to the panel we both spoke on last month
Right.
in New York. We both talked about mental health in
Hmm.
talked about in the nourishing, in the nutrition side, and I talked about
Yeah.
it in the motherhood side. So I'd love to hear how does probiotics and prebiotics, or is it just the probiotic that helps with the mental health? Like, can you give us like more information about how that exactly is connected?
Sure. Yeah. So it's actually, so probiotics and prebiotics are both really important for mental health because basically what they're saying is that if your gut health isn't optimal and isn't working great, it can affect your mental health. So like things like anxiety, depression, these are all, there is like a kind of like a gut brain axis is what they're calling it. There's a connection between your gut and the brain. So, if you're able to incorporate some of these, more of these foods into your diet, it may have a beneficial it may benefit in terms of your brain as well and helping your, whether someone has anxiety or depression or different things like that, you may see a boost in your happiness, for example, on a day-to-day basis. So, it is emerging at this point, like they're doing a lot of research on it, but I can see that if gut health is important for overall immune system, I can see that, it would be beneficial in terms of your brain as well and how important that would be to optimize it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like, cause I think I heard it recently, and I was like, "Wait, what?" But then, like as you're explaining,
Yeah.
it's connected. Like your brain, like it's all connected, and all our nerve endings too.
Hmm.
Like it's all of everything is
Yeah,
connected.
it is.
It's just things have been marketed to like be
Yeah.
separated for
Right.
whatever reason. So I like that. Let me see. Do I have any? And if you guys have any questions, there's a few more people that joined. This is my friend Nadia. She's a nutritionist. Hello.
Hi.
So she is here just educating us. Hi, Jazz. Hi, Holistic. Hello.
Hi,
She
Gabby.
is a nutritionist, so I asked her to come on live to talk about probiotic versus prebiotic because I was in the grocery store recently and I saw like all of these different things, probiotic and prebiotic, and I kind of got overwhelmed. And I'm a nurse. Oh, hi, Gabby. Okay, thank you. I got overwhelmed because I was just like, which one should I buy?
Yeah.
And I have a healthcare background, so I was like, if I'm confused, I know that there's other people out there that are just as confused,
Right.
and I know the people that follow me, they want to live a healthy, fulfilling, prosperous life. So
Yeah.
I know there's really people that are like, I want to be healthy, but like, do I need to, is it a waste of money? So Nadia cleared it up. It is not a waste of money to buy both the pre and the pro. You need both of these for your gut health. It will boost your mood, help with your mental clarity, all of those great things. We even touched base on kombucha because I used to drink kombucha almost like a lot, to the point where I kind of started getting indigestion from it.
Oh,
I don't know. And so I had to stop drinking it for a minute, but now I'm drinking it again.
yeah.
So that's why also was one of the questions was well, can you explain for people maybe that don't know what we're talking about? What is kombucha?
Kombucha is basically like a fermented drink. So it is made from like tea and like it uses like sugar to ferment the tea. I don't know like the whole process exactly, but it is really great for your digestion and I love it as like an alternative to soda. So that's kind of like why I started drinking it. And you don't want to drink a lot, like you said, because like with anything, like if you do a lot of it, it's not going to be good for you. So like I'll just drink like if it's like a bottle, for example, like I'll drink maybe like a third of it And over like a couple of days, I'll drink like a whole bottle. Like I usually don't drink the whole thing at once. But it is really, I mean, to me, it tastes really good. And there's just, when you are buying kombucha, just make sure that you're buying brands that don't have like added sugar to it. You want the ones that are that fermented with the sugar, but not necessarily like added sugar after the process.
Okay.
So yeah, like GT's is a really good brand. And Health Aid is another one. There's a few. So if anyone has questions about that, they can reach out.
And I'm taking my own notes. That's why I'm looking. Oh, I've seen Health Aid. Okay, everybody. So Health Aid is, I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
that one. Okay, I've seen that one in the store. I never can finish any type of beverage.
yeah.
Like water is my main thing. So I like to hear that you said you'll just put it back in the fridge because I thought once you open it, like it goes bad. So I'll drink it and I'll throw it away. So you're saying I could just put it back.
Yeah, you can totally just put it in the fridge. Yeah.
Got it. And then kombucha is a probiotic.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a probiotic. So anything fermented for everyone, anything fermented is a probiotic. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
I think those were all of the
Yeah.
questions I had. Let me see. Yeah, and like I said, if you guys have questions related to the probiotic,
Yeah.
prebiotic, please let us know in the comments below, or you could just say hi. I see my friend Nikki here, breathing mindful. So we were just having a conversation because I was confused, and I was like, well, what better way than to make content and make myself not be as confused anymore? So, oh, there's
Yeah.
another type. I have one more question actually. I didn't
Sure.
write it here, but I'll just ask. There's another type of because okay, what are prebiotics and probiotics? They're what are they?
So probiotics are like the live bacteria and yeast in our gut, and then prebiotics are the fiber that kind of like serve as food for the bacteria that's in our gut.
Is there another thing? Like, is there a third type of bacteria? Or am I?
There might be. I'm not
I
sure.
know I'm putting it.
I'm not
Okay.
sure.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. No worries. Yeah, so that it's bacteria that we
Yeah,
need. And a lot of us, especially, so I'll say this is my nurse hat. It's important that you take your antibiotics. Like if you get sick and your doctor and the
right.
doctor, not you taking the old antibiotics, if your doctor prescribes you antibiotics, take your antibiotics. But it's also important that you take a probiotic. So like
Mhm.
Nadia was eating yogurt with your antibiotic, and then also eating a prebiotic,
Yes,
if that be the artichokes or whatever. So
for the
making sure
onions, right?
the onions. So making sure that if you do get sick, you take your medicine, but you're also making sure that you're still nourishing your body, because what antibiotics do is they wipe out all of the bacteria. It doesn't like say, oh, this is the like it doesn't go down in your belly and be like, oh, this is the prebiotic. Let me not take,
Yeah.
it just clears everything out. And so it's very important that if you do have to take antibiotics, don't beat yourself up like, oh man, I have to take this medication. Like, we all get
Yeah,
sick,
sometimes that happens.
yeah, but just be more mindful. I will say that, be more mindful to like
Hmm.
really be nourishing your body when you do get sick. So yeah, it's super important to know, because
Yeah,
also people, they won't finish their antibiotics,
yeah,
and that's a whole nother
yeah, that's not
conversation.
good.
That's
Yeah.
not good either. You gotta finish the antibiotics. But that's something that was like ingrained in me in nursing school, and then once I was in the hospital, it was like you have to take the probiotic, and now I'm learning you also
Hmm.
have to take the
Yeah,
prebiotic. They go hand
yeah.
in hand. Is there anything else,
No, I
Nadia?
mean, if anyone, and I do have a guide as well. Like normally I normally, it's a product I sell. It's just like a guide about prebiotics and probiotics. But if
Oh,
anyone's watching this, I will send it to them. So for free.
okay.
Yeah. So they could just, either comment and I'll send it to them through DM, or if they want to DM me, they can definitely do that. And I'll, and I can share some information on that.
Oh,
So it's
that's
a
really
complete
nice.
guide. Yeah.
That's really nice. Thank you for doing that. So please, if you're not following her already, please give her a follow. You can simply do it right now as you're watching the live. And I would definitely reach out to her and get that free guide. It's good to have information from people who are certified, who are, who have the education. I just did something that's very irks my nerves if people anyway. So I like to invite people in my space who are educated, so that we can all be more knowledgeable and
Yeah.
have that information. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And yeah, I think yes, thank you, Nadia. This was very helpful, and it was very. I like how simply you explain everything. So
Thank
that
you.
that was good. All right,
Thank
well,
you. Thank you for
oh,
having me. Yes.
tell people besides Instagram, because I'm gonna also put this other places. So tell people where they can find you.
They can go to nourishedbynadia.com, yeah, and then just follow me on Instagram, Facebook at Nourished by Nadia. I'm also on TikTok, so I post a little bit on there too. So,
Yes,
and it's the same Nourished by Nadia.
sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. Please keep going. Sorry, finish.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, she's on TikTok, and you have like a TikTok that like has like 30K views or something with the macaroni.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
with the vegan macaroni and cheese. Yeah,
I love it. Oh, this is good. This
yeah,
is
so
really
follow me on there too.
wonderful. All right. Well, thank you, Nadia,
Thank
for your time. I
you.
appreciate it, and we'll probably do this again. I'll figure out
Yeah,
another
I'd love to.
topic.
That'd be
All right.
awesome.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.